Judy Moisev had almost totally given up on finding love until she met and stalked her upstairs neighbor, Danny. Judy told the Resource Center of April 28, 2014, that both she and Danny, like 64 million other Americans, lived with disabilities, severe forms of cerebral palsy. And yet, Judy iterated, they were sexual. In a YouTube video on August 5th of 2013, she explained, however, despite their eventual proposal and gorgeous Jewish wedding ceremony, the Moisevs never legally married. And it was entirely to avoid the Supplemental Security Income Program's marriage penalty, which the University of Pennsylvania's April 2015 Constitutional Law Review describes as Social Security administrators negligently reneging the life-sustaining benefits we guarantee Americans with the most severe disabilities and fewest economic opportunities. And frighteningly, there are just two triggers to the penalty: marriage and disability. Now, it's no secret the marriage equality fight is one we won with grit and blood and devoted sincerity. Unfortunately, that activism did little to secure equal rights to marry for disabled Americans, and our silence has not only kept SSI marriage penalties persisting, but worked to propel disabled couples further into poverty. Considering this, alongside the Center for American Progress's May 2015 report explaining roughly 80% of our disabled population is jobless, most because they're incapable of working, we'd be the most poetic hypocrites to ignore the causes, effects, and solutions of these SSI marriage penalties. As disability advocate Tricia Sprayberry told the Huffington Post of June 30th, 2015, finding love isn't easy, even for the able-bodied, let alone with a disability. But she adds, when you're lucky enough to find the one, being given a choice between the care you literally need to live and the person you want to marry isn't much of a choice at all. Run by filmmaking activist Dominic Evans, the Facebook page Marriage Equality for People with Disabilities is ground zero for this movement. So if it blows up, he'll be their Martin. But right now, like any Facebook admin, he's struggling with visibility. But he's never too tired to explain the penalty, why it works, and how it thrives. Innocently enough, it was built to work exactly as it's named, like supplemental security. Realizing in the early 70s, dependents who were blind, disabled, and not working in their 60s still couldn't make ends meet on issued subsidies. The 2015 University of the District of Columbia's Law Review explains, just to keep them living, Feds started making supplemental payments via Social Security. And since then, stingy checks have kept people teetering 25% below poverty. And yet, Section 2167.1 of the Social Security Handbook explains relieving overburdened taxpayers is what spawned the marriage penalty. And it was designed solely to deduct an additional 25% of rent and medical necessities, even if both spouses have disabilities. But if one spouse is able-bodied, both need beware of deeming. That's what they call the dollar-for-dollar reduction in benefits justified by tracked spousal earning. And it's done all under the guise of saving us money. Without question, it's Reaganist, ableist, lazily assumptive thinking, still living in our law, because as Marcia Katz, former chairwoman of the Social Security Advisory Board, told Summit ILC of May 2nd, 2013, legislators willfully ignore the cost of disability. In June 28, 2015, Audacity magazine, admin Dominic Evans co-signed, saying, "My wheelchair costs more than a car." And he adds, "The personal aides who lift, dress, bathe, and feed him run another $250,000 annually." And he told me in a personal interview on February 24th of 2016, it is not for his lack of advocating, but millions of recipients have accepted, as advocate Alicia Richards posted to WordPress of August 26th, 2015. Groups who get the severity of the penalty come few and far between. And she adds, "I can't help but wonder, where is our lobbying power? Where are the groups to go to Congress? Where are the Hollywood celebrities? Where are the people who fought for same-sex equality? We are right here. After they met at a New Year's Eve party, Jordan Davis dated her girlfriend Jessica for years, and they coined the term Jordessica, which I don't like but admit is cute. And while these policies keep them separate, they consider themselves spiritually married, but are still living the effects. Invisible inequality and wasteful watchdogging. To begin, I've been told since September that this feels inconsequential, but 12 million people are living some twisted page from Romeo and Juliet where marrying means suicide, literally. But nobody knows or even cares because we don't read stories about disabled people. And that's why Dr. Rabia Belt wrote in her 2015 Stanford University law paper, the penalties remain and keep terrifying couples into refusing to be married and financially drowning the ones that do. Like Katie Nicolai's cousin, John. He celebrated 8 anniversaries before officers told him divorcing was his only hope escaping the penalty. And when he refused, his benefits were cut. His organs then failed, and he died in 3 weeks. And the worst part is, post-Obergefell decision, underneath all this constitutional confetti, we were just too free to notice. So it's unsurprising, as the June 2014 UCLA Law Review explains, over the years, disabled couples started getting creative with their love, living as roommates, still barely affording the cost of disability. But administrators felt ripped off to the point of spying, founding the Cooperative Disability Investigations Unit, who we pay to lurk in people's churches and interrogate their neighbors, to peep through their windows and find out if they're, quote, pretending to be married. And if they are, we start pulling plugs and billing back pay immediately. It's a tax-funded witch hunt for people with disabilities. And as Marcia Katz told the aforementioned ILC, it cost us more to administer the penalty than it would to pay them benefits. But we've dug our heels in to this marriage inequality. Obviously, the structural solution is either eliminating or at least lifting the limits of the penalty. So Congressman Raul Grijalva proposed that, with H.R. 1601, shot down in 2013 for lack of support in the height of our war for marriage equality. So here are our steps. Bypassing the House and going straight for the Senate, I've authored these letters to Senator Patty Murray, ranking member of the Health, Labor, and Education and Pensions Committee, who's pledged to fight for families and equality. If you sign the letters and author the envelopes, I'll send them right after the round. They encourage congressional conversation and demand Patty's social media solidarity. Next, please just like and share the Facebook page, Marriage Equality for People with Disabilities, and send one tweet, @PattyMurray, with hashtag Patty Help Them Marry. In our personal interview, Evans told me, I like the idea of a national campaign because our movement's at its very beginning. So helping educate is paramount. So these packets also have fact sheets that you can give to your university's newsroom so they can write quick, easy articles about the penalty. But until people are listening, you can donate. I've organized the forensic fund with the page, half for donating to families directly and the rest for buying ad space on Google so that when we search things like marriage equality or disabilities, we finally start seeing articles about the penalty. I have a square right here and it accepts chips. So see me after the round. For far too long, our silence has literally been compliance, and we've grown so practiced at making excuses. But from the horse's mouth, this can be their beginning. In a YouTube video suggested after one of Judy's, a Sunday school teacher we only know as 97 Dragon Man, says, my cerebral palsy's taught me it's important to communicate, to make a difference where you can. And he adds, God moved mountains so my fiance and I could be together, and we intend to honor the Lord and the work he's done. The causes, effects, and solutions were just a charge so that we make sure they're safe when they do.